Welcome to Aging in Place Strategies and Answers with Linda Prio. Will it be possible to remain in my home as I age? Do I feel safe in my home? How do I figure out how much support I will need when my health needs start to change? What if I decide to move into a community instead? Which community will meet my needs now and in the future? Who will play a role in helping me with decision making? Do you ask yourself these same questions? Aging in Place Strategies and Answers can help you gain practical knowledge that will help you create your own Aging in Place roadmap. If you are already a care partner, a power of attorney, or in crisis mode with your Aging in Place strategy, you will learn what you need to know that you don't know. For over 20 years, I have been marketing Aging in Place services to clients and educating families and healthcare professionals in how to put aging in place strategies into place. When you utilize aging in place, you are allowed to choose where you want to live and make those decisions so that you can retain your quality of life. Welcome back to Aging in Place, Strategies and Answers with Linda Prio. Did you know that dementia is not a normal part of aging? However, for every 100 people, 2 people have presented with some form of memory impairment. The Alzheimer's Society explains that dementia is a set of symptoms that develop when the brain is damaged by disease, lifestyle choices, head trauma, and even social isolation. While we cannot change our genetics or our family history, it is never too soon to make changes in our lifestyle that can help reduce risks of dementia, such as diabetes, obesity, smoking, alcohol abuse, physical inactivity, social isolation, and cardiovascular risks such as hypertension, high cholesterol, and stroke. Alzheimer's dementia, vascular dementia, and alcoholic dementia are 3 common forms of dementia, along with frontotemporal dementia and Parkinsonian dementia. Well, just like there are varying forms of dementia, there are varying forms of dementia treatments and medications. And those are the ones that are usually the ones that you hear the most about. They're the ones that are readily available. And the medical interventions are the ones that Medicare and the Biden administration were very much focused on. But what about music therapy? Could that be an appropriate intervention for someone with dementia? Could this be a valuable tool that we can use when we are care partners or providing and helping with someone who has dementia? Well, here is a quick lesson that we learned from World War I and World War II. Musicians that came to perform in patients' hospitals and wards, it was shown that when they performed their music, when the soldiers were listening, it was reported that they were in less pain, that the music had calming and stimulating effects, and that this was noted by hospital staff members. So according to the American Music Therapy Association and a report from the National Institute of Health, that's actually how music therapy and degrees in music therapy got started. Here's another report. The history of using music therapy to help post-combat veterans dates back to the days after World War I, when community musicians performed in military hospitals for wounded servicemen. Doctors and nurses noticed that their patients responded positively to the music. So during the last years of World War II, it became evident that these hospital musicians needed special training, and the first music therapy degree was created. Well, how does music therapy work? One way it works is that music therapy can help release chemicals which distract the body from pain and physical discomfort. Music therapy can also treat memory loss, word recall, and fine motor skills, which are all common symptoms of traumatic brain injuries. For example, there are several different methods involving percussion rhythms that work to improve sustained, selective, alternating, and divided attention. Music therapy's connection with memory loss also makes it a common technique used in the treatment of diseases such as Alzheimer's and dementia. Emotional connections to certain songs may elicit either positive or negative memories, and music therapists are trained to single out the musics that trigger positive memories and reconnect the mind and the body. Jacobo Mincer, who is a doctor and executive director of the Roper St. Francis Research and Innovation Center, said in his report, "We know that music is a powerful stimulator of the brain. It has the potential to be a critical tool to preserve and enhance brain health." So, listening to music that you know and like tends to cause the strongest response in the brain. By creating personalized playlists that you can put together for yourself or a loved one, can be created by music apps on computers or smartphones. And there are also other good options, such as listening to a music genre that you can download from free from Amazon or Pandora. But I also want to caution that if you or the person that you are working with has impaired hearing, be aware that that can lead to social isolation, and that is a risk factor for dementia. So please get your hearing checked, because that could be a good first step in reducing that risk factor. If you are a caregiver for someone who has dementia, consider music therapy. Music can have therapeutic benefits for people with dementia or Alzheimer's disease by helping them to express themselves. Music can help people with dementia express their feelings and ideas verbally and non-verbally. So, for example, singing along to a song can be a way to communicate even when verbal communication is difficult. Reminiscence. Music can trigger memories and emotions, which can help people connect with their past and remind them of their identity. It can also encourage movement. Music can encourage physical exercise, dancing, or other forms of movement. For example, music can help people who are shuffling or freezing when they start to walk, such as those with Parkinson's. It can also reduce distress. Music has been shown to reduce agitation and distress, especially during personal care tasks like dressing or washing. It can also lower biological markers of stress, as proved when music was incorporated into therapies for veterans, and it is still being used today to combat isolation, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other behavioral responses to being in the military. Music can also improve relationships. Music can help people with dementia develop and maintain relationships with others, including their caregivers. Are you listening, caregivers? Music can also reduce agitation and improve behavioral issues that can be common in the middle stages of a memory loss. Even in the late stages of Alzheimer's disease, a person may be able to tap a beat or sing lyrics to a song from childhood. Music provides a way to connect even after verbal communication becomes difficult. Now, let's have a word from our sponsor.
My husband and I had previous experience with his mother residing in a large-scale community, and I was determined to find a different solution for my mother. At Family Partners Home, my mother receives personal care from a team of professionals.
That's a quote from one of our Family Partners Home clients who receives care in one of our residential homes for those with dementia. For more information about Family Partners Home, our phone number is 314-686-4468 or online at familypartnershome.com. At Family Partners Home, we help residents maintain dignity while promoting well-being. Residents receive 24/7 supervision and care in a home-like setting in assisted living homes that are located in residential neighborhoods. Each home is a single-family home designed and built specifically for those with dementia. For more information about Family Partners Home, 314-686-4468, online at familypartnershome.com. It feels like home. It is a home.
Let's return to the podcast. Well, I know I have your attention now, but I also have somebody that I want to introduce to you. Her name is Jonna Parker, and she is the family liaison for Family Partners Homes, and she is music and memory certified. So let's listen in on the interview that I had with Jonna. Hello, listeners. This morning I am with Jonna Parker, and she is the family liaison with Family Partners Homes, which are small memory care homes and part of the Continuum family of services. And of course, I'm your host, Linda Prio, who works for Continuum and host for Aging in Place Strategies and Answers. When I first met Jonna and got to know her, she told me, she said, Linda, I'm music and memory certified, and I didn't know what that meant. Jonna and I have both been working with individuals and families of those who have dementia, and we know that no stimulation is not good. But there are benefits from appropriate stimulation. And what we're beginning to uncover in the world of dementia is that music definitely has its place. So, Jonna, like I said, you're memory and music certified.
Yes.
And what were some of the things you learned about how to find out individually how music can really benefit somebody with dementia?
So they give when you go through the training course, they give a very detailed list of questions that help you kind of dig deep into that specific person's past, what their likes, what their dislikes are, but specifically to music, and affiliating them with memories, because the whole concept of music and memory is to pull those memories out of those loved ones, and help them have purposeful moments again. And so the questionnaires ask questions in regards to a specific time and place, a wedding maybe, an anniversary, a high school prom, all different sorts of things that can be linked to certain specific music, songs, and specific artists. So it really asks personal questions in regards to that, to link those memories that we're trying to pull out.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I would imagine that you have to ask the family.
Most
too,
definitely.
because they may not
usually what it is.
Remember all those specific things
Yes.
about the kind of music that they like.
Yes.
And and that. But this is really specific to music and what we're trying to accomplish. So when you went through your training, you learned how to ask all the particular questions,
Correct.
getting to know the person with dementia. Family was very helpful and instrumental in that, so that you could come up with a pretty full picture of their likes, their dislikes,
Right.
their reactions to, no reactions to.
Exactly.
But what are some of the benefits of a music program for someone with dementia?
Oh gosh, so many benefits. I think a lot of people could be educated a lot more in regards to it because of the benefits. You have, it helps with pain management, any sort of pain, whether it's from surgery or long dealings of arthritis. My mom had knee replacement surgery. It helps with her. It helps with depression. Of course, you don't want to play sad songs when you're trying to cheer someone up. So knowing the different genres of music and the different types of music to help with those different areas is important as well. You wouldn't want to play a sleep list when you're trying to cheer someone up. But it helps with pain management. It helps with depression, and it also helps with redirecting. If you have someone that is maybe having a difficult moment, I don't like to use the word behaviors. So if
Right.
they are having difficult moments or a difficult time during their day, redirecting them with music that is happy or even calming is a huge plus. So those are kind of the ways that we utilize them in the homes.
Mm-hmm. And I know from my own history and learning process with dementia that sometimes when people aren't able to have a normal conversation, for some miraculous reason, they're able to sing along with music.
Absolutely. That's a key component in. That is one of the key findings with music and memory that we learn about, is being able to pull memories with music, but also, and I've seen it work, it's like magic. It is the most magnificent thing that you will witness if you are a part of it, where I've seen people that haven't talked for years start the music and memory program, and within 6 weeks they're either tapping their foot, singing along to the song, or they're putting full sentences together. It's phenomenal. It's crazy.
And sometimes in dementia we see very flat expressions.
Yes,
but
most
do you
definitely
see that change when they're
Absolutely. I always like to refer to it's a story of Henry. You can find it on YouTube. It's about a gentleman who was very withdrawn, very just no emotion, no response to anything. He was nonverbal and kind of sat alone with his head down all the time, every day. Within a few weeks of doing music and memory with him, you see kind of this bud of a flower start to blossom, and it's a beautiful thing. He became very detailed in his descriptive of music, and started singing along, and became so happy, and his head was up, and he was smiling, and he was partaking in conversations. It was just a beautiful thing. And to think how many other people are sitting out there with their heads down that we could help lift their chins up and give them those beautiful moments that they still have.
Absolutely, and that's what we want to focus on in dementia. We know that we can't always reverse the disease, but here at Family Partners Homes, we're really focused on creating wonderful times, not only for the resident individually, but also good times for the families when they come to visit. How have we incorporated music and memory here at Family Partners Homes? Can you share a little bit more about that?
So it's beautiful. Barth had a vision when he built these homes, and he honed in on the small details that I think so many people forget about. And one of those details is music. He has, in each home, each resident in their room has a Sonos sound system. We also have Sonos throughout the house. So in the private dining room, in the sitting family room, we have it in our sunroom, as well as on our back patio. Each resident, when they move in, is asked about their favorite genre of music, their favorite artists, favorite songs. We compile a playlist for them, and it can be played anywhere in the home for them, as well as in their room. So it is a way to kind of add that personal touch so that it's familiar to them. We always know that if I hear a familiar song that I like, that makes me happy, I'm going to be more comfortable in the space that I'm in. So it's adding that special touch to each person's personal plan of care.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Well, it's been wonderful visiting with Jonna.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And when you're looking for small memory care home models, I hope you'll reach out to familypartnershome.com. And we're located in the St. Louis area and would love to have a conversation with you. Well, I think we learned a lot from Jonna, and we have a lot to think about when we are thinking about the best way to work with somebody who has dementia and to provide meaningful stimulation that can really help you become a good caregiver, but also for the person that is suffering from dementia, how best to help them live their best life. As always, I offer a caregiver tip at the end of every podcast. And here is my tip for today. Music can be beneficial for you as well as the person you're caring for. And remember that it can be appropriate stimulation instead of staring at the TV. Several years ago, my doctor told me 3 things that he tried to do every day to combat stress and let his mind relax after a busy day of practicing medicine. He said he had his favorite music, but he also tried to listen to jazz because it engaged his brain in a different way. He also read or listened to books because that took him away from the cares of the day and into another person's life or a different place and time. He also would get on his treadmill religiously because physical exercise, as we know, produces endorphins. And we know that physical inactivity can also lead to dementia. If it can work for the caregiver, these things can also work for people with dementia. So when you play music, watch for body language and other forms of communication to see if the music you're playing is pleasant and enjoyable. Also, be aware of the tempo of the music and if that is unpleasant or is producing an appropriate response. You also might try music at night before bed to calm yourself and to calm and ready the person with dementia for bedtime. But you can also use music during unpleasant tasks that sometimes folks with dementia try not to do, which is bathing and dressing. And then, of course, I'd love to hear how this works for you. Thanks for listening. Thank you for joining me today. Please remember that this podcast is intended as guidance and not advice. Share this podcast with friends and family who are currently in crisis mode or with people who would like to start developing their own roadmap for aging in place. Listeners, if you would like a deeper dive into a topic discussed during a podcast, please subscribe to Aging in Place Strategies and Answers, where you will be able to access premium content. Or if you would like to suggest a topic for this podcast, please contact me at linda.agingstrategies@gmail.com. As always, I value the time you spend with me.